call the meeting to order of the Planning Commission for June 24th, 2026. Pledge of allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Harold Bain.
Here.
Whitey Simon.
Here.
Mark Bouchard.
Here.
Chris Altunen.
Here.
Christine Holcomb. Robert Muesling here. Wayne Torno.
Here.
Margie Ferris.
Here.
And Kathy Schweikert.
Here, thank you. Item number 4, approval/amendments to the agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda as presented.
You have a motion and support?
Support.
Oh, which one wants to support?
I'll do Christine.
Pick the one you want.
So we have a motion and support for the agenda. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Whitey Simon.
Aye.
Harold Bain.
Aye.
Mark Bouchard.
Yes.
Chris Altunen.
Yes.
Christine Holcomb.
Yes.
Robert Muesling, yes. Wayne Torno.
Yes.
And Margie Ferris.
Yes.
Kathy Schweikert.
Yes. Item number 5, approval of minutes. 5A, which is the minutes from May 27th, 2026.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion, support.
Someone did support? I didn't hear.
Did you support?
I
Okay.
So we have a motion, support, any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Whitey Simon.
Aye.
Harold Bain.
Aye.
Mark Bouchard.
Yes.
Chris Altunen.
Yes.
Christine Holcomb.
Yes.
Robert Muesling, yes. Wayne Torno.
Yes.
Margie Ferris.
Yes.
And Kathy Schweikart.
Yes. Number 6 is new business. Before we proceed with new business, Christine is going to read the rules for public comments and public hearing comments.
Public comment rules. 1, all comments must be made through the chairperson. Comments directed to the applicant from the audience are prohibited. 2, individuals wishing to speak have time limits. 3 minutes for each member of the general public and 6 minutes for a spokesperson of a larger group such as a subdivision association, condo association, business group, and similar groups. 3, anyone wishing to speak is asked to sign the sign-in sheet provided. However, anyone wishing to speak will be given the opportunity. 4, each individual will be allowed to speak once. It will be the chairperson's decision as to whether rebuttal comments will be allowed. 5, citizens may appoint a spokesperson to represent those who agree on a point of view. 6, public comments on a specific public hearing request should be made during the public hearing for that item.
Thank you, Chris. I will open the public hearing for item 6A, which is 6354 Sword Out Road, special approval land use accessory dwelling unit. Karen? At 7:04, sorry.
So we have a special land use review at 6354 Swartout Road. The applicant is requesting an accessory dwelling unit of 591.5 square feet above their proposed garage, which is defined by Clay zoning ordinance as an accessory apartment. When we look at the district regulations, it does appear that the site meets the district regulations. However, at the time of my review, there were no setbacks or discernible lot dimensions. However, because this is an existing lot, any deviation would be considered an existing nonconformity. For accessory building structure and uses, again, the proposed garage appears to meet the requirements of that section. When we get to the accessory apartment, when I was looking over at the plans, there appears to be a deck or patio, and you guys do have a deck, porch and patio ordinance, and it says the deck, porch, or patio shall not contain any solid vertical sides. The proposed dwelling unit contains an enclosed patio with screens. I don't consider a screen a solid side, however, they could be switched out with storms, so I deferred to the building official if that was going to be an issue with this proposed development. And again, decks, porch, or patio shall be constructed in accordance with the requirements of all applicable building codes. And again, I defer to the building official on this issue. As for our accessory dwelling unit ordinance, it meets most of the criteria. However, there were some gaps of information that still need to be addressed. The dwelling unit must be situated on a lot or parcel in conformance with the minimum lot and area setback requirements of section 301, 311, and Article 23. While these standards appear to be met, the applicant must confirm via confirming what those lot dimensions were. At least one owner of record shall occupy either the primary dwelling unit or the accessory dwelling unit. The owner occupant shall meet the requirements for principal residence tax exemption. The applicant must confirm that the standard will be met. The health department shall certify that an on-site septic system is properly designed to handle the anticipated load. Again, we need confirmation that this will be met. One additional off-street parking space shall be provided. It appears to be met, but again, we need confirmation on the site plan that it'll be met. The accessory dwelling unit shall be registered with the township clerk's office. The applicant must confirm that this standard would be met if this was approved. The dwelling unit shall be situated on an adequate permanent foundation as determined by the Township Building Department. In no case shall travel trailer, recreational vehicle, automobile chassis, or tent be considered an accessory dwelling unit. The standard appears to be met, though this review defers to the building official. An accessory dwelling unit shall have a valid certificate of occupancy before it can be used as a dwelling unit. The applicant must confirm that if approved, the standard will be met. And again, for accessory apartments shall only be located attached to the principal residential structure or located above or attached to an attached or detached garage or boathouse. Accessory apartments located above a garage or boathouse shall not exceed 20 feet in height. The accessory apartment is located attached to the garage by breezeway. The building height does not appear to exceed 20 feet, but the standard must be confirmed. An accessory apartment shall contain at least 420 square feet and shall not exceed 35% of the total floor area of the principal unit and accessory compartment combined. This shall be construed to prohibit the creation of an accessory apartment in a single-family dwelling unit with a floor area of less than 1,200 square feet. All construction must meet all requirements of the Michigan Residential Building Code and approved by the Building Department. New and existing structures. The total square footage of the principal structure was not provided, so therefore we just need to confirm what the total square footage of the house is to ensure that the standard is met. So there are several items that still need to be confirmed, mostly dimensions of building setbacks, height, floor space of the principal structure. If the owner will be the principal resident of the lot and addressing the concerns about the proposed patio off the dwelling unit. But should the applicant be able to provide the information and confirm compliance with the items in red, the Planning Commission finds that it meets criteria for the special land use, I would recommend that the Planning Commission approve the special land use subject to compliance with all agency, engineering, and building code requirements.
Thank you, Karen. Is the applicant present, and would the applicant like to come forward, or the representative of? Please state your name.
My name is Herb Blackstock with Blackstock Alessandri. We're the architect for the client.
And
I'm Mike Stevenson from Timberwood Homes. I'm the contractor for the project.
thank you. Go ahead.
So, again, thank you. It is an accessory structure. The current homeowner is the caretaker for her brother, who has a disability. That's the purpose of this. So it's a one-story addition, again, off the side of the house. It's actually between an existing garage and the current house. The plans you have, they should resolve all of the issues that Karen had, as well as the engineer. So we define the setbacks. Again, it's between two existing structures, so we naturally meet the setbacks. We're between the two. I don't know if you want me to address some of those issues.
Would you please?
Okay, so if I have the list.
You can borrow my copy if you want.
So we'll run through the red highlights. We added the setbacks. I believe they're 15 feet on the sides. The lot is, the property is 10 acres, so we're nowhere near the front setback. We're nowhere near the rear setback. So we do meet those setback requirements. Detached accessory building, residential mobile home park shall not exceed 1 story or 15 feet. So it's a 1-story addition. I believe we're at 13 foot 10 to the mean height of the roof line. So we do meet that. Proposed dwelling unit contains an enclosed patio with screens. So it is an enclosed patio. It's just a covered deck, and then we're just going to screen that in. It's in Sword Out, Sword Out Road. There's a lot of mosquitoes. So they're just going to screen that in, to my knowledge. There's no plans to enclose it as additional living space. It's just to give a small patio to sit on. To be constructed in the corner. Yeah, it'll be designed, according to Gary's requirements in the building code. Dwelling unit must be situated on a lot or parcel in conformance with the minimum lot area and setback requirements. I think we just covered that, so we should be good there. At least one owner of record shall occupy either the primary dwelling unit, which she is. She's going to maintain primary residence in the main house. Her brother will be living in this addition. We did receive confirmation from the health department that we're able to add this additional bedroom. And
Yep, we got written permission from Mike Malcolm from the county that we're able to tie in a sewer line on the exterior before the tank. He said we've got the written permission, and the building office has that.
And as for the rest of the utilities, everything will be tied into the existing house. So power will be extended into the space. Supply water, they're currently, I think they're on a well, correct?
Yes.
Yes, so that'll be, is it city water? I can't remember.
It should be city water.
Yes, it's water.
That'll be tied into the existing water system as well and brought through the foundation into the space. One additional off-street parking. Our plan shows, if you look at it, there's not only the parking spaces in front of the existing attached garage, but there's also the secondary garage, which has parking, and then their asphalt wraps around the west or east side of the space, so there's plenty of room for an additional parking space.
Brand new concrete.
Should be designed registering with the township clerk shouldn't be an issue. We'll complete the paperwork. Dwelling unit should be situated on adequate permanent foundation. It's a standard block foundation, similar to the house. Accessory dwelling shall have a valid certificate of occupancy. And it will, once completion or construction is completed. Let's see, accessory apartment is located attached to the garage by breezeway. The building height does not exceed, again, it's 13 foot 10 plus or minus in height. And the total square footage is below the 35%. We actually added the square footage of the primary residence that includes the existing garage. And it's at 3,500 roughly square feet is what the current house is. So we meet that requirement as well. There was also a letter from PCE, which I think covers most of these issues that Karen had brought up. The existing grades will not be changing. We really can't change them. The house is where it's at and the garage is where it's at. There's almost a 3-foot drop between the two. So we're compensating. We're leaving all of the existing topography the way it is. We're just elevating our foundation a little bit higher out of the ground so that we line up with the existing home's floor. We added the updated, correct site plan dimensions. And then again, hot water, how the water service, it'll be connected to the existing home's water service as well as the septic field, just as Mike had explained. I think that's it. Did I miss anything?
Thank you. Any board members have any questions, comments?
I do.
I see the addition, and I see the existing garage, and I see, I can read this, 3'0". Are you going to concrete that in, or is you just going to leave that open between the new addition and the garage?
Right now, we're going to leave that open.
Any other questions, comments? Not hearing any. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. This is a public hearing. Is there any member of the public that'd like to come forward and speak on this particular hearing? If so, come up to the podium, please. I do not see anybody approaching the podium. Gary, do you have anything more to add now that you've heard everybody's information?
I think everything's really been covered. Yeah, there's going to be some issues, obviously, with the build of it, because we have some fire separation things that are going to have to come into play here. But that's farther on. That's has to do with the actual construction of it. But everything else, I think, has been covered very well.
Thank you. Any other questions from board members?
So for their porch, since it's not conforming with what our ordinance calls for, since it has a roof on it, do they need to go to the ZBA for that? And I think we probably need to address that ordinance at some point in time, maybe take a look at it.
That might be a good idea.
I don't think the porch comes into play at all here. What makes you think that the porch is an issue?
In the report, it says that our ordinance states that you can't have a roof or solid sides.
So that's, a lot of that has to do when it's encroaching into a required rear yard. And I don't think we're dealing with that in this situation. So, if we were on a boatable waterway or we were within a required rear yard, that may be a situation. But here, this is open land, this is big acreage. You can have a porch, you can have a covered porch, and it really doesn't come into play either with, the habitable part of the house. Porches, patios aren't usually equated into square footage either. So, really, I think
I'm
it's a
not
mute
worried
issue.
about that. I'm just worried if our ordinance states that they can't have a roof over the porch, do
We
they
can-
need to?
No, I would disagree. That we
And
can have.
I don't have the copy of the ordinance right in front of me, so I don't,
Well,
I'm
I
just
can
going
grab
by
it for
what.
you. I can grab it for you if you want. But we
Well-
can have roofs over porches. It's just the location here is open land. We can have roofs over porches in open land. The only problem with that is when we're on boatable waterways in required rear yards. Okay, and we don't have that in this situation.
Well, the only reason why I bring that up again is because it is a concern on the planner's report,
Okay,
so.
all right.
It's,
But I look at that zoning book day in and day out.
no, I
In this
understand.
particular situation, that is a mute issue.
Okay.
Nothing wrong with asking the question, though, it'll get
Nope.
clarification, so thank you for doing that. Appreciate that. Any other questions? I'm going to close the public hearing at 7:20. I would point out this is a special land use, and there's special land use criteria is on page 44 and goes over to page 45. So when we're considering motions, we need to make sure those 7 items are covered in whichever way we proceed, okay? So board members, any comments? Thoughts? Motions?
Well, I just have a thing with the 3 foot from the garage. He's going to have to fireproof that wall pretty good with fire rated board and interior. That's the only thing I see, is the garage is really close to the house. Other than that, whatever you want, I mean.
It's actually in your set that I gave it. There's a detail for the rated.
Yeah, I was looking at that, and I just buzzed through it, and I go, yeah, that was the only concern I had with the 3 foot, but other than that, I'm happy with it.
And our zoning ordinance does allow for these structures to be 3 feet apart, as long as we address that fire separation.
Right.
Any other questions? Comments?
So when we make a motion, we have to address the special land use
I can write the
criteria.
special land use in, and I think after our last experience a month ago, maybe we potentially could hypothetically use, a motion that, now that I've read the special land use requirements in, or criteria in, you could say I'm adopting those
Into the
into the motion.
motion. Okay, I would make a motion then to approve the special area land use for the accessory dwelling at 6354 Sword Out Road with the special land use criteria.
Which is 1 through 7. Should I state them for the record, or is it necessary to do that at this point?
You can either summarize them or read them in.
I'm going to read them, how's that? And then you can just adopt. I'll read them in. Special land use criteria, 1, will be in accordance with the general objects, intent, and purposes of this ordinance. 2, will be in accordance with the goals and objectives of Clay Township's master plan. 3, will be designed, constructed, operated, and maintained in harmony with the existing or intended character of the general vicinity, and that such use will not change the essential character of the area in which it is proposed. 4, will not be hazardous or disturbing to existing or future uses in the same general vicinity and the community as a whole. 5, will be served adequately by essential public facilities and services such as highways, streets, police and fire protection, storm water drainage, refuge disposal, water and sewage facilities, and schools, or persons or agencies responsible for the establishment of the proposed use shall be able to provide adequate for such services. 6, will not create excessive additional requirements at public cost for facilities and services and will not be detrimental to the economic welfare of the community. And 7, will not involve uses, activities, processes, materials, and equipment or conditions of operation that will be detrimental to any person, property, or general welfare by reason of excessive production of traffic, noise, vibrations, smoke, fumes, glare, or odors.
Second.
Better get a breath.
So, we have a motion by Chris Hiltonen, which is, can you repeat your motion real quick? I'm sorry.
I'll read it right off, Robert, so we
There you
don't have to
go.
redo it. Motion to approve the special area, or the special land use accessory dwelling unit for 6354 Sword Out with the
Special land use.
special land use criteria adopted
Into as read.
into as read.
Second.
Any discussion? Everybody understand the motion?
Yep.
Roll call, please.
Whitey Simon?
Aye.
Harold Bain?
Yes.
Mark Bouchard?
Yes.
Chris Hiltunen?
Yes.
Christine Holcomb?
Yes.
Robert Muesling, yes. Wayne Torno?
Yes.
Margie Ferris?
Yes, sorry.
Kathy Schweikart?
Yes. Yeah, because this is the most updated. The 3 you gave us tonight are the updated ones that answer all the questions. So those are the ones we should stamp and give you one copy and leave two at the township. So if you give us a minute, we'll get this handled. Thank you.
You don't want it.
And no abatements. Every citizen. Well, the problem with that is you gotta know where your area is.
These two can go back to him.
What is the state? Oh, they did? Yeah. Okay, so that's what brought my attention. Oh, that's what I heard. I didn't see that paper. Well, I didn't hear that. I just heard that it was going with something.
So we need one of you to come forward and sign on behalf of the applicant. Whoever wants, I'm not sure which one.
My problem with the data center is that I have nothing against them except
First says applicant,
other than that.
we have 3 of them to sign.
Look at some of the decibel
Applicant,
readings and some of the.
2 more?
I mean, now you're looking at a generator backup system, you're looking at diesel tanks.
So thank you for bringing these, we appreciate that. You get this copy for you.
I don't,
And then these are going to stay with the township. All right, good luck, guys. Thank you.
Congratulations. There is no more underground tanks. It's not here, it's all going to be above ground, so now you've got an eyesore. It seems like you're going to have at least 20,000 gallon tanks sitting there because like the one hospital I run is 96 hours of continuous use with 24-hour backup call. So.
So, Ryan, I'm going to give you that. There's a copy for the township, and she's rolling up the other.
Usually when you have an architect and there's a long article really involved, it's sort of. No. I did hear it. So this is a cover. I didn't see this. This looks pretty interesting. This is as far as I got. Let me look at that, Mark. I was gonna make copies, but I thought Skip gets that.
All right, I'm going to move on to item number 6B, which is data center discussion. Karen?
So I believe most of you last month,
I can just take it.
or maybe a month and a half ago, attended the county presentation or county planning workshop, which talked about data centers. Did you guys attend that, correct, or?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
Oh, okay,
I watched
I wish
it.
I did, but
I did watch it.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, they had a big presentation, kind of giving an introduction to communities of how to approach adopting language to address data centers in your community, because it's something that we cannot outright prohibit. And it is a major concern for many communities, and so especially here in Clay Township, where we have a lot of natural resources we want to protect, and highly residential areas, what can we do to protect the environment and the community? And at the presentation, the first thing that they recommended communities to do was to look at their master plan. And I know we just reviewed our master plan. I re-reviewed it. I don't think there's anything in there that would leave you guys open to perhaps having a data center locate in an area that may be inappropriate, because all of your land uses are, they're divine. You define your neighborhoods and districts and zones, I think, pretty well. And if anything's going to be intense, it should be in your industrial district. And I think the language in your master plan, which again is not a policy, it's just a vision and a guide for the community. But I think it's written pretty strongly to protect some areas that currently aren't industrial from either possibly being rezoned to industrial for this purpose, or, you know, some communities have gotten creative in their master plans and creating a mixed-use district or a mixed-use corridor. You guys haven't done anything like that. So I think your master plan does a pretty good job in setting the scene for how you guys envision Clay to be, which is a fairly, recreation and residentially focused community. So with that being said, we need to figure out how we want to approach this. A lot of people, or a lot of communities are adopting a data center section in their zoning ordinance, like any other use, like, automobile, gas stations, manufacturing. But because this use is a lot different than what we normally experience, I'm giving you a heads up that I think we're going to need to touch a lot more other areas in your zoning ordinance. We might want to update some of your language in your industrial district in general, your performance standards, whether it's adopting certain performance standards or updating current ones. You guys have a fairly good performance standards section, and this is where we talk about light, noise, gas emissions, but we don't address anything about, generators, thermal emissions, and a lot of it is just modernizing your language to address these things that are just now a part of our world. Probably the last, I don't know when your performance standards were originally adopted. It might have been in the 80s or 90s. It might have not really been updated much since then. But so tonight, I just figured, I presented what you currently allow in your industrial district. What the purpose is, it says the general industrial district is designed primarily for manufacturing, assembling, and fabrication activities, including large-scale or specialized industrial operations whose external physical effects will be felt to some degree by surrounding districts. And then you have your principal permitted uses, which means that if someone comes in with a site plan, you guys review it, but there's not a public hearing for it. And then you have your special land uses, which many communities are opting to have data centers be a special land use. So then again, this is something that the public is more aware of, they're more informed about. They can comment on it during the public hearing. Neighbors within 300 feet of the proposed site are going to get mailings. And on top of that, you guys have your special land use criteria that you're going to go through for any special land use. So I would recommend limiting it to your industrial area and limiting it to a special land use. And when we do that, obviously, we will have to develop a section to address whatever the specified regulations are that we want to adopt. But then I've also provided what are the general industrial district regulations, which talks about, the minimum zoning area, what the maximum building height should be, the landscaping, building coverage, what the, setbacks are, loading spaces and off-street parking. And obviously, some of these things, I don't think we necessarily need to update this section, but we noticed with certain other uses you have, like mining or something, the setbacks for that use tend to be larger than what's listed here. And we're allowed to do that for these uses. Like a lot of communities are saying, a data center has to be, 100, 200 feet setback, and there has to be a 50-foot landscape buffer. And maybe if you're bordering a residential property, that might have to be greater. So when it comes to the use, there's certain things that we can exceed upon what the general industrial district allows. But again, when it comes to noise levels, emissions, all that stuff has to be addressed in our performance standards, because that's something that could be applied to any industrial use. So it's kind of finding this balance of what can we specifically target about data centers, but if we want to address certain things, could it be applied to all other industrial uses? And if so, then yeah, we should probably address it in our performance standards. Like a lot of communities, they want to have an environmental impact assessment done, traffic impact assessment done, and they're putting it all in their data center ordinance. And that could be appropriate, but having talked to the township attorney, a lot of times it's recommended to put those in your performance standards, because again, if another large-scale use comes in, you don't want your data center ordinance to be seen as so different from all your other ordinances and possibly discriminatory enough where it could be challenged. Because the last thing we want to do is spend a lot of time on adopting language that could easily be challenged and a judge to say this is pretty unreasonable and grant a consent judgment. So that's the balance in all these conversations. Every community I'm working right now is at least started the process in developing this. I know Skip provided some information. I don't know if you wanted to share that tonight.
Yeah, we can. What I did was went into Claude and had them, just ask the questions, if we're looking at, what do we have to look out for? What are the impacts on health, on the electric rates for consumers, all of that. And it was really pretty interesting what he came back with. So I dug a little bit deeper and just asked him, okay, we live in southeast Michigan, on the Great Lakes chain, what do we have to be aware of there? And there are a number of different communities. Saline Township was one, Van Buren Township. The one I found kind of interesting was Meridian Township with a moratorium on data centers. Do you know anything about that one, Karen?
So 3 of the other communities I work for have adopted a moratorium. And again, a moratorium is used for you want to put a pause on receiving applications for use because you have legitimate public health and safety concerns on that use. And so the moratorium is usually upheld if you're actively pursuing how to handle it. And I do think that's as a planner, we don't typically recommend moratoriums. You'd have to talk to your township attorney about it. I think over 30 communities in Michigan have adopted one right now. And at the very least, moratoriums have been recognized to be upheld for at least 6 months, up to a year. Going beyond a year, it can be challenged sometimes. But you'd be in good company if you guys decided to do that, if you felt that there was an urgency to do so. A lot of communities in southeastern Michigan who are working on this have done that. So in theory, if someone were to come in, you can say, we can't accept this right now because we're addressing it. So
The other thing I caught wind of too, and it didn't reflect it in here, but that Michigan legislature is looking at doing something statewide,
yes.
addressing it. What do you know about that?
I don't know too much about that. What has come out about it is changing all the time, but I think there is just what people saw happen in Saline earlier in the year was concerning to a lot of legislatures. So they're trying, I think it might, maybe they're trying to come up with something similar to the CREO for a different purpose. I think they're trying to understand more about this use. I don't know if there's going to be statewide adoption for how this is handled. But again, it is something that right now locally, it's up to the locality to figure out how they want to handle it. And choosing not to do anything and just saying, well, we'll just accept it as is. Well, we'll just accept what we have on our books and go from there. I would not recommend that approach because I think there's a lot of new aspects that typically most communities probably aren't used to with these. And there are really big impacts from these, depending on what scale they are. A lot of communities are really focused on the hyperscale ones that you hear about. There could be small, medium, and large. Small, from what I hear, is anywhere from, small as anything up to 20,000 square feet. Medium is up to 100,000 square feet, and large is over 100,000 square feet, which to me, those all seem like pretty big buildings. So,
Well, I think the one in Saline is 250 acre site
yeah.
and over 1 million square feet of building space.
Mm-hmm.
So that's enormous.
Drawing
Yeah.
140 megawatts of power.
Yeah. But, I listened to a continuing education for planners, and they interviewed someone from Wisconsin where they have a Foxconn and a Microsoft data center that came to their town, and, they highly advocated, look at your whole zoning ordinance, figure out what you can strengthen up before you adopt something specific for data centers. And one thing that they've highlighted was make sure you have dark sky friendly lighting, because they're like, the security on this facility, it's going to be lit up like a stadium all the time. And especially us being in a unique situation, especially by the water, that has its own effect with that lighting. Probably, I'd say you guys have a pretty decent exterior lighting ordinance. It probably could be improved just by clarifying, everything has to really be shielded down, and maybe for certain industrial uses, figure out a way how to handle all this lighting if something is going to be lit up all the
What
time
about
like
the
this.
noise ordinance? Because most of them hum at 67 to 80 decibels all the time.
Well,
And our
Yeah.
noise ordinance, I mean, it goes till such and such time, but,
I think your noise ordinance has a daytime and a nighttime.
yeah.
And they should be meeting. Whoever comes in needs to figure out how to meet this, whether we try to ensure it's met by having certain buffers. You can have acoustical devices to help buffer all these sounds. A lot of communities are adopting language where any mechanical yards or where generators are, they got to be even farther back from the property line.
All right, yeah, I know, and Charlotte should be closed-loop cooling.
Yeah.
A lot of it should be chillers.
I see one of the townships said something about they even had restrictions on how much water they pulled.
We'll have to talk to our attorney about that because we're not in charge of the locality's not in charge of the water authority is. You can ask them, how much do you think you're pulling? Same thing for water and electricity. You can ask them, how much are you pulling? How much are you discharging? And what's your plan? Is the infrastructure there? Can they provide it? We can ask for letters from DTE and Water Authority. Is the infrastructure there? Can you provide it? And how will this affect the community as a whole?
Can we make them generate their own power?
You could request that, but that means...
Because DT is going to come in, and the base load for the city of Detroit's only 3.5 megawatts. They're going to come in with 30 minimum. They're going to want that kind of power. All right, so they could use steam turbines to generate their own power. Why tax the systems around here?
You could.
You know where I'm going with
Yeah.
that. I mean,
You would also have to make sure you have ordinances to address those systems, which historically, and at least in St. Clair County, there's been a lot of resistance to doing so. You guys have some stuff, but we'd probably want to re-examine it for something of this scale, because I think you have on-site and this would be similar to utility scale renewables. So, that has been brought up. Some communities are open to it, other communities, they're not sure if they want to open that yet. But some communities, like when I've done research, you look at where has this been established for decades now. It's in Virginia, Pennsylvania, Arizona. A lot of those ordinances in those communities require that X amount be renewables. And again, speaking on that alone, whether that's something that we move forward with here or not, at the very least, battery storage is a part of all these things, and you guys have nothing about battery storage at the moment. So that would definitely have to be addressed as well.
And we require a bond that they fulfill all the claims that they put into the application, the water usage, electric usage.
I think so, yeah. Everything would have to be reviewed by your attorney, but, yeah, you guys can place bonds for certain things, for sure.
I mean, the water usage is one of the important things. We can do nothing about the water that goes into the plastic bottles that they pull out of the Lake of Michigan every day. And they need just as much or more water, and then they have to dump the water.
Right. And two, that's another, figuring out this information, figuring out, are we, is the locality authority on this, or is Eagle the authority on this? And figuring out, and can, asking for whatever permits we need from Eagle, just figuring out how it's all going to work and how the township can be insured, it performs however it claims it's going to.
How deep
Yeah.
can we go into their engineering of that damn place?
I mean, with a special land use, you can always request for more information if it's
Thank you.
reasonable to find out to make a decision. So that's another nice thing about special land use. You can always ask for more info.
So then you would put the data centers, you have to go through planning for special.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. There are,
Yes,
in some
within-
communities, they do differentiate by size, and some of them are considered, by right uses, so permitted uses, and they just go through the site plan process for like a small data center or something. But considering how big of a concern and unknown it is at the time, I would just recommend it just be a special land use in the industrial district.
Yeah, because I think what the community is most afraid of is that they're just going to slip one in and, behind the scenes, and, which with the special
Like an
land use,
Airbnb.
that wouldn't be possible.
Yeah.
You keep saying industrial. I've been to a data center, and it's they're not industrial from what I've seen. Some of them are in C3 districts, because once it's built, it is not industrial anymore. It's like no more going into a Best Buy or something.
Right.
Because they're not building anything. All they are is regenerating and shipping out. They don't-
I think it's the intensity of the resources of the use that would put it in industrial. And also, the statement in your industrial district, physical effects will be felt to some degree by surrounding districts. And I can't imagine, even though maybe you're not necessarily hearing anything or feeling anything, the amount of energy getting pulled from it. And again, if you're going to drive by it at night, you're going to see it's all lit up.
So it was a 7-Eleven.
Yeah. It's
That's what I'm
it's a
saying.
less intense
We
use,
keep
though.
we keep talking industrial, but I think they can slip one in on a C3 on us. That's the point I'm saying, because once you've built the building, you're sitting here, you're stuck, exactly.
Right.
It's not like I got a stamping plant over here or a milling compound plant over here. All they're doing is data, and they could argue that point out, there's nothing industrial being here. And especially if they put their own power in. Now you can't say that, because, hey, they could put it in a C3 and it's just a regular building with lights.
If they put in the C3 district, if one of their generators go off, I can guarantee you they will be violating the noise ordinance.
Oh, yeah, I know, I
So
understand that totally.
Again, that's why I think it would be hard if someone came in tomorrow and tried to put one in the C3 district, I think you guys justifiably could say, no. I mean, it would have to go through the whole uses similar to those listed above in your special land use. So you guys have to go through the process. And again, your C3 district states it's retail, you have customers come to it.
We do. We got IBM. We got.
I
You know
think
where I'm
it'd be
going
hard.
with this.
Yeah.
I don't want somebody to slip one in on us.
Right. Well, that's why you guys need to update your ordinance.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So, and if the township wants to place a moratorium on it, talk to the township attorney, but that's something that the township board would have to do, not the planning commission. So,
Seems to me that would be a logical path to go down to buy some time, if nothing else.
yeah,
Kind of not to use the term defensive move, but a defensive move.
yeah.
I guess my question with that is if the township places a moratorium on it sooner than later, and we don't get it resolved in that year, I mean,
Well, it puts some urgency to it at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, a year would be.
Well, you said as long as the municipality's working on it, you can request a
If
moratorium.
you're challenged on why you're taking so long, communities have placed a moratorium on things in the past and just sat on it and not addressed it. And that's where, a
That's
judge
how
has
we
said this is null and void. But if you're actively making a change, and like I said, I think you'd be in good company. I think 30, 36, some communities in southeast Michigan alone have already done so.
So does this board need to make a recommendation to the Board of Trustees that, yes, we're looking at
Data
data center
centers.
language
Yeah.
ordinance, but while we're doing this, the Board of Trustees, we would recommend that you place a moratorium until we get this language resolved. Does that make sense? Anybody want to make that motion?
Sure, I make a motion to recommend that the township board
hold on.
Now I can't, no.
He's got it fresh in his mind, he knows what he's gonna do.
I already written down here, I already wrote it down later. I'll make a recommendation, I would make a motion that the planning commission makes, that recommend that the township board issues a moratorium on data centers while the planner is putting together some updates for our performance standards and ordinances
For data set, for data.
for
centers.
data centers.
Support.
Specifically.
We have a motion by Chris, support by Skip. Go ahead, Karen.
I'm sorry, a lot of communities are saying data centers, cryptocurrency, and
Okay.
other high-demand resource
mining.
facilities.
Crypto mining.
They include all those things.
Would you like to amend your motion to include?
Yep.
I would amend it with crypto mining.
I would like to amend it to include cryptocurrency, what was it? Crypto,
Cryptocurrency mining.
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 It's the same thing with, like, computers.
That they do that, that's, all the cryptos are.
So you're saying other communities are including that with the data center?
Yes, yeah.
Is it this a cryptocurrency mining, or is there?
So what is that moratorium going to look like? Is there a time limit on it, or?
You should call the township attorney, and she will help you craft it.
Actually,
'Cause it-
should we, or should the board of
maybe
trustees?
the board would if they,
If the board's going to adopt it, then they'll need to communicate with her and how it should be written.
So maybe we could also include as a motion, so the board of trustees understands the language she just
Yeah.
said. As far as the board of trustees reaching out to the township attorney for the language that would be necessary.
Yeah. Because it all has to be legally
For the moratorium.
set in a certain way for
I'm
those.
sorry.
Yeah.
So, recommendation would be
consult the township attorney.
for,
Consult the attorney.
Moratorium language.
What fuel are they running off of? What do you mean? What fuel is a data center running off of? Strictly electric? Yep, all electric.
Okay, excuse me, hold on, guys. Just a moment.
so it'd be recommendation, the township board places a moratorium on the data centers, and it's amended to include cryptocurrency mining. Recommendation would be for consultation with attorney for moratorium language.
But make sure the board of trustees, somehow we need that language in there. That
By
they know it's not us, it's them.
board of trustees,
Is 2040 a
planning.
drop dead year for fossil fuels? Or is it, the data center's going to run off of their own internal supply? But I'm just confused of why data centers are so popular now. And is it because of fossil fuel?
I think it's probably for
It's
a
because
lot of
of
different reasons,
AI.
yeah.
Yeah, because of Claude.
Okay, well, I got about 10 answers, so.
There's a race.
It's because of all this.
Hold on, we have a motion at the moment.
How much power it burned through.
Hold on.
Discussion later.
So, okay, so
Hold on, we have a motion, hold on. This is not the time. This is-
moratorium language by attorney, for consultation with the attorney for moratorium language by Board of Trustees while Planning Commission is updating performance standards and adding data centers to ordinance.
So I'm going to request either you, Chris, read that motion clearly into the record that he's written.
Yep. Make a motion to recommend that the township board places a moratorium on data centers and cryptocurrency mining.
Sorry. With the recommendation would be for consultation with the attorney.
All right, so we'll make a recommendation I'm going to motion to recommend that the Township Board places a moratorium on data centers and cryptocurrency mining while consulting the Township Attorney for moratorium language. And also, while the Planning Commission is updating performance standards and adding data centers to the ordinance.
Chris, does it say in there clearly that the Board of Trustees are the ones who are supposed to be contacting the
Yes.
Township Attorney?
Yep.
Okay. You rewriting it, or you want to?
Well, I'm rewriting it on
Okay.
the approval sheet that we all had to sign. So
Okay.
that's the one for our motion, and this is
So
the
who
one for
seconded it?
I did.
Skip.
Skip.
I'll second my second.
Thank you. Appreciate that. So, any further discussion? Does anybody want the motion reread again so we all understand what we're doing? Are we all set?
I understand it
It's a
totally.
moratorium.
I got it.
With some other. Robert, let me know when you're ready.
I can start here
Can
whenever
we do a
you're.
roll call,
Yep.
please?
Whitey Simon,
Aye.
Harold Bain,
Yes.
Mark Bouchard.
Yes.
Chris Otunin,
Yes.
Christine Holcomb,
Yes.
Robert Muesling, yes. Wayne Torno,
Yes.
Margie Ferris.
Yes.
Kathy Schweikart.
Yes. Thank you, Karen, for your help on that topic. Appreciate it. Moving on to item number 7, which is unfinished business. 7A is attached accessory structure discussion. Karen?
So we've been talking about attached accessory buildings because our current accessory ordinance talks a lot about detached buildings, but not attached accessory buildings. And this is the version that I provided last meeting, but our meeting ran over, so we tabled it. And since then, Gary and I have talked and decided to make some changes. However, I forgot to send those changes over, so we still have the old version. So I can try to verbalize what those changes are, or if we want to wait till next meeting. But basically, on the third page, number 9, for the sentence in red, it says, "For parcels of 2 acres or more, the maximum size of any attached accessory building shall not exceed the floor area of the principal building plus an additional 33%, or 6,000 square feet, whichever is less." And then I have a sentence about the total combined floor area of all accessory buildings that we've decided to eliminate because it's redundant and it's mentioned elsewhere in the ordinance. But basically, if you have a lot more than 2 acres and you have an attached accessory structure, it can be as much as your principal structure plus an additional 33% of that, up to 6,000 square feet.
Really?
That's what we're proposing right now. And then the second item was addressing that if you are under 2 acres, that your accessory structure attached can exceed the floor area of your current structure, of the principal structure. And I believe that's addressed in item number 5, but probably could be written more clear because it primarily talks about detached accessory structures. But again, I can provide, I typed it up and I just didn't send it over, so I'm not exactly sure what the exact language I came up with right now. But how do you feel about
It sounds like you
those
and Gary have
changes?
already talked, and there's a different version than what we have right now.
Right.
And we probably should see that version before we have a discussion about it. That's my feeling. I don't know what everybody else is thinking.
Agreed. I'm with you.
Yep.
Okay, so with that being said,
Table it till next meeting.
I'm sorry?
Table it till next meeting?
Yes. Do we make a motion to table it till next? You want to do that, Skip?
Yep. Make a motion that we table the attached accessory structure discussion until
Support.
the next meeting.
Wait, supporting it. So we have a motion to support. Any discussion? Hearing none, Robert, would you please do a roll call?
Whitey Simon.
Aye.
Harold Bain.
Yes.
Mark Burchard.
Yes.
Chris O'Toonan.
Yes.
Christine Holcomb.
Yes.
Robert Muesling, yes. Wayne Torno.
Yes.
Margie Ferris.
Yes.
And Kathy Schweikart.
Yes, thank you. Item number 8, planning consultants report.
I
Karen?
have no news. I just wanted to wish everyone a happy holiday and thank you for doing what you do. I know being a part of the planning commission and being the decision maker on these land use applications isn't always easy. I just wanted to thank you because I think you guys do a really good job and it's a pleasure to work with you guys.
Well, thank you. Item number 9 is ZBA representatives report, which would be Margie.
Yes, I haven't had a meeting. Again.
Good, bad, or different, right? Okay, thank you. 10 is board representatives report, which would be Mark.
No, thanks.
Thanks, okay.
Come on now.
We're going to go on to item number 11, chairperson's report. Skip already did a lot of hard work. Thank you very much for providing this information. Olivia in the building department helped out by getting it out to everybody. I also asked Olivia to forward, and hopefully everybody got it. I call it the Minix septic. We had Plan A or Plan B for the 4 spots for RVs. Did everybody receive that email?
Yep.
So it's going with Plan B, not A.
Bringing in the trailer.
Bringing in the trailer, which got, correct? Have you, go ahead.
So, we reached out to the St. Clair County Health Department to see if the septic system in the house would be feasible to use. And they said absolutely not. So, it could be in the future, if they increase the size of that system, maybe there's a possibility. But for right now, they said no. So we got a letter from the health department to give us that determination so that we could rule that out, making sure that that was not going to be used. And they also said that for this portable unit, they did not need a permit for that. So we got that in writing also. So because it was portable and it could be pumped out, so we covered our behinds and got that in writing from them also. I am meeting with Anthony tomorrow morning because one of the things when we talked about screened enclosure on the dumpster, he proposed it to be in privacy fence, which that's not in our ordinance. It has to be masonry. So we're making him make that change to be a masonry enclosure. So he's coming into my office tomorrow morning. He's going to pencil that in for me. And then we should be able to sign off on that in the morning and get him in business. So that's where we're at with it. So,
Appreciate the update.
yep. no
Any other
problem.
questions from the board members for Gary?
Different topic. Did you hear anything in the last month from South Channel Yacht Club?
That's what I was going to ask.
Nothing.
Wow.
What?
And really, the last word was, they came in, Olivia reached out to them, do you want to set up an inspection? And they said no. So that's where we're at with that.
Interesting.
How is the
And-
liquor control approving this?
Exactly.
I mean, I don't want to be the skeptic here, but they have no certificate of occupancy, and the liquor control allowed that license?
They got a certificate of occupancy for the inside of that building from Chief Rose, and we were not invited on the inside of that building.
Wait a minute, I understand there's a difference between a certificate of occupancy and how many occupants can be in there, Gary. Only you can give the certificate of occupancy of clearance. Now, I want to know how that got done.
Me too. So
I don't want to speak for Chief Rose, but I believe he said he didn't ever do that. He can crunch the numbers and tell you what your potential occupants can, try that again.
Right. I mean,
Occupancy
persons,
fee.
allowable.
So they did what bare minimum, what the Liquor Control Commission required. They got that information enough that it appeased the commission, and they provided them with the liquor license. But every time we reached out, like I say, I'm knocking on their door, and this last time, after that meeting, we reached out to them when they came to our window. Olivia asked, "You want us to set up that inspection?" And they refused. They literally refused. And I had Olivia document that date and time that they refused.
When you say "they," is there a particular representative who voiced that, or, because I know there's two people who were here.
Right, I don't know, what's
Bill
his name?
Fritz or,
No, it wasn't Bill Fritz. it
Not
was the
Fritz.
I didn't think.
Tom?
Yeah,
other-
Mr. Tuwicki.
Yeah. so.
Any other questions? Thank you for the update.
Okay.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the name of the business you were talking about? I didn't hear you when you, all I heard was South Channel. Is that what you said? I didn't hear the name of it.
The name has changed. It was the former South Channel Yacht Club.
Okay, thank you.
Number 12, and thank you, everybody, for showing up tonight and reviewing packets. Number 12, Planning Commission member comments.
I just got one on, that thing I did of Claude. It doesn't show up on here because I had to do screenshots because I'm not that clever with my printer. But the links in there for the sources, if you clicked on those, then it would drill down into the actual articles and you could keep drilling and drilling and drilling. Yeah, that was pretty interesting. I went down a few of those rabbit holes.
Well, and that's what, I think one of, what we were talking about when it was, the question down there is why all of a sudden the data centers, it's not necessarily, I don't think the fossil fuels, it's the, kind of the perceived demand that they're going to need with all the, like the flock systems that they're putting in for camera monitoring for driving and facial recognition systems that are going in.
But that all goes to the cloud.
But that's what the data centers are, the cloud. So it's the perceived demand by, that's driving it for what the AI systems are.
It's a race to the
Can
top. It's a race to the
So,
top. So that's why they're gathering all the property. And who knows how the technology is changing. The size of my watch might power a city. I mean, why, there's just crazy, these data centers, because what's going to happen when they're vacated?
That used to fit into this room.
A computer, oh, right.
Feel like Big Lots and Kmart's or the big vacant buildings out there, just Ford, Rouge, I mean.
So I just had a question. Is there a reason why we don't do any kind of rental inspections for long-term rentals?
I'm sorry, is that question to me? What was the question?
Yeah, so we don't do any rental inspections for long-term rentals. I came from
Long-term, no.
Oakland County, so almost every place had rental inspections.
We have no long-term rental inspections. We have no long-term rental ordinance. We do not have the resource to do that. We would have to hire more inspectors to be able to do that, but we don't have an ordinance for long-term.
Okay. So it's resources.
Yeah, well, I'm just going to say, just to comment on that, we do have a
Short-term.
inspection for short-term.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, this is
Which
long-term.
I don't even know if it's ever been instituted or not.
It is.
Has it?
Oh, yeah, definitely is.
Yeah.
It definitely is.
She's aware of it.
I was just curious because of just a few people I've chatted with.
Yeah.
So I've
It's-
called around and,
It's one of the things that it's hard in our community to be able to know which ones are rentals, because we have so many cottages. The way that we were able to, find out which ones they were in the city where I used to work it wasn't called a rental ordinance, it was called a non-owner occupied ordinance. And that was, you owned it, but it wasn't 100% homesteaded. And that's the way that we could find out which ones weren't 100% homesteaded. And if it wasn't 100% homesteaded, then it fell underneath this ordinance. So it wasn't technically a rental ordinance, but it was this non-owner occupied. We have so many of those cottages here that, that the people don't rent them out. It's just their cottage that they only stay at when they're in town here. So they're not true rentals. So it would be tough to be able to find out which ones are full-time rentals and which ones aren't. It would have to be on the honor system, and there's not a landlord in the world that would come up to our counter and say, hey, I'm renting this place out, would you come and inspect? Because they don't want to see me, that's for sure.
Well, when you have, they start to weed through it is when you have tenants. And
Well,
they have problems.
But
And then they
that's when you find
start
out,
finding out,
you know.
because they're not being kept up to snuff, so.
Yeah.
I was curious why we didn't.
Any other board member comments?
Yeah, Gary needs to work overtime.
He needs more hours. Sorry, Gary.
Gary's not saying yes very quickly over there.
I just want to wish everybody a happy 4th of July coming up, make it a safe one, and thank you, Karen, for all you do to help us to do what we do. Without you, this would be even more difficult. And I want to wish this very special person a very big birthday coming up, whenever that may be. Mr. Simon.
He's not saying when.
Happy future birthday.
Thank you.
It could be worse.
I don't know.
It could be no birthdays.
It might be okay.
Wow. Thank you, Marty.
No, then you'd miss all this.
Yeah.
Hey, Kathy, can you forward that decision sheet for the data center as soon as you can?
Olivia does that.
Well, that's what I said, as soon as you can.
I will make sure
Sometimes
I'll-
I didn't even see the planning commission on the website today, so, and neither did anybody else.
Excuse me?
I didn't see the planning commission schedule on the website.
It linked up. I don't know if it came off or whatever, but it was there.
It was on there?
If it was on there, I would have had it in front of me.
Well, Olivia is usually very good about sending emails out to all of us, and she has also had made it very clear, if anybody wants a printed copy, just give her, a heads up, she'll have it ready
Well, I
in her
didn't have
office
time
ahead.
to
Oh,
reach
no,
out to
you
her.
can stop by and she'll print it right there for you.
Well, okay, for Whitey, she will. Usually try to give her a
She's
little
done the
heads
same
up.
thing for me.
I mean, because
Yeah, I
they're
think
I didn't
busy.
want to throw her under the bus, believe me, so.
I don't know if
Drops
throwing
in
her under
here
the bus,
for us.
because Olivia does very well at getting this.
Well, I can pull it up right now, it's not there.
Yeah, but you know what happens once you have the meeting? It appears to fall off, whether it's the Board of Trustees.
day of?
The day out, because I noticed that with the Board of Trustees.
maybe
I've
that's
noticed
what
that
it
with
is.
ZBA. So
Otherwise-
that might be an overall township, because I tried to look for something on the Board of Trustees and the agenda was gone.
That's the archives.
But I'll let Olivia know.
Yeah,
How's
yeah,
that?
whatever.
I got it.
So I'll let
I know
Olivia
I
know.
got the information before.
So we're going to move
Yeah,
on
website?
to item
Yes.
number 13, which is public comments. Anybody in the public who would like to make a comment, please come forward, state your name for the record.
My name is Peggy Williams. I'm a Clay Township resident. I'm going to make this short. All of you need to do research on your own about the data centers, and I mean do some research. The one by my brother's house in Alpena, they didn't put it in an industrial area. They put it in the forest off of the Asabo River. They snuck it in there. So you as a planning committee need to get with the Board of Trustees and get that moratorium done so that there are none built under our noses in this area. And I know that somebody just told me recently that that park, State Park, in the back, they've approached the state about getting that vacant property and putting an AI data center back there. So we need to get, and I really want you to do your research. A small AI center uses anywhere from 20 to 50,000 gallons of water a day. Now, I go on NOAA. I don't know if any of you know NOAA. NOAA is a situation that studies the earth and the movements and everything. The water table since 2015 late '24 has gone down 15% in the United States. That's a lot of water. Can you imagine how much a big AI data center uses, like the one in Virginia? Please, do your research and really think about this. Our water sources should be protected by us. The environmental department needs to protect them. And it's not only that, it's just the poison that comes out. Now, my brother lives 25 miles away from the AI center. If you go within 5 miles of that place, you can hear that hum. And it's electrifying, and it's bright, like she says. And it's not only that, but it's just not good for the human race. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Mark Coletti, I want to echo everything that public commenter said, and I'll raise her this. We're currently living during a 6th mass extinction going on. Insects, birds, everything's going apart. Water, that's she's being conservative with her number. In product development, there's a term, there's the innovators, the imitators, and the idiots. Don't be the idiots. Don't be one of these people who's doing it because everybody else is doing it. Let all the other people deal with the repercussions and then go forward with it. So I don't want to spend too much time with it, but everything she said is spot on, and so I want to go through my initial one. I just want to talk about who's on this planning commission. I just want to remind you, Precinct 4 is overrepresented, okay? There's 5 people on Precinct 4 from the island on a board of 9. We're only 1/8 of the population, and we got 5 people. Now, we got 3 HIDA members, okay? Now, I will say Mr. Bain's one of the most intelligent people, as you've seen it tonight. He's valuable to this board. With all due respect, Mr. Simon and Mr. Torno, they're getting up there, okay? The future belongs to the young. We should have gentlemen like this, younger gentlemen, on this board, and there's no spot for the young people to come. So, Mr. Borchardt, he's an experience. He's got connections. He's very valuable. So he almost takes over the octogenarian, I think that's the term for people in their 80s, for that. And I say that with the utmost respect. First and second one, we got 2 SSDI members or affiliates on this board. Now, I want to remind you, there's 6 other unincorporated communities on Harson's Island that are all residents. And yet we got 2 people who are specifically trying to get to Sans Souci. Sans Souci is a pro-business. Residents pay 80% of the taxes in Clay Township. 80%. And I've seen so many people come up and say, hey, the businesses are bothering me. You got it on Stark Road. You got it on Fruit Street. I know on South Channel it's a nightmare on the weekends. And yet the businesses don't care. So I'm guessing, why should residents bear the burden of excessive noise and traffic when all we want to do is to get away from the world? I want to remind you, people move to an island to get away from the world. So to bring the world to the island is extremely frustrating. And in terms of this liquor licenses, we have 8 times the number of liquor licenses on Harson's Island as anywhere else. Government means government. Govern to control, ment is mental. You're controlling the people by pushing this booze on them. You know, they make choices. That's one thing, to make choices. But for the government to push the booze on them, that's unnecessary, and it's why we have such a corrupt society. And lastly, in terms of the noise, it just disrupts the peace and tranquility. More visitors is more crime. Okay? There's no police force on the island. It's amazing the Planning Commission doesn't have a police force on the island. I've had, my dad and I got threatened last 3 Sundays ago by a non-resident. It took 40 minutes for the police to show up. This person could have stabbed us, they threatened us, they could have done anything. We would have bled to death. There's no police. How do you want more people on the island with no police presence? How is that possible? You know, why do islanders have to pay more in property tax for a decrease in serenity? That's all I have to say. Thank you for your time. Oh, and congratulations on doing the moratorium on that. That's a good temporary, but as the previous commenter said, it should be absolutely not. Let everyone else make this mistake. Let Ira Township, let everyone else do it, and then watch what happens to them, and we'll be the last man standing if you continue this moratorium. So good job on that. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other member of the audience who'd like to come forward for public comments?
Oh, I got one more thing to say. Can I?
Sure.
Okay. I want you to know that Lennox Township, Chesterfield, Yale, and Emmett just shut all their AI ideas down with their boards and their trustees. They don't want them built out there. It's a rural country, and they don't want the streams and the creeks and the little rivers out there ruined. So please do your research. I've got a 30-page booklet at home that I did, and I didn't bring it with me, but thank you for hearing me.
Thank you for attending, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Any other members of the public who'd like to come forward? I see no one coming forward, so I will move on to item number 14, which would be adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Have a nice